So thank you for joining online. Today we have two themes. One is about election in the United States, which is coming soon. The day after tomorrow will be the election voting day. And master lecture, Peaceful Mind, the second part. Okay. So, sorry. Mic is too big. So why we Happy Science talk about politics? Why we talk about politics? You may wonder, but we have reasons. Firstly, we are seeking two kinds of happiness. One is personal happiness, and also we are seeking happiness as a whole, which means happiness as a country, as a state, on the whole world. We are seeking two kinds of happiness. And politics relate to this latter part, happiness as a whole. And then, as you know, Happy Science main teaching is fourfold path, which include love, wisdom, self-reflection, and progress. And goal of progress is build a Buddha-land utopia world, Buddha-land utopian world on this earth. That includes politics. So we talk about politics in many ways. Master teaches us in many ways. Firstly, when you look around the world, we have many difficulties, especially we have three dangerous flashpoints on Earth. Firstly, we have a problem in the Middle East, especially Israel and Iran are very dangerous because they are going to have a nuclear power, nuclear weapons. Israel already have, and Iran are going to have, so it's very, very dangerous situation. It'll be the flashpoint of the World War III. And then, as you know, Ukraine war, which are continuing for a few years now. And it became not only Russia and Ukraine, but also United States and EU, NATO countries were included in that. It may be also the flashpoint of a nuclear war, World War III. That is very dangerous. And then comes East Asia, which means China and North Korea. So you may think which is a big difficulty in the world, I don't know, but East Asia's problem, China's problem, very big, okay? And Master Okawa spiritually researched on Xi Jinping, who is a chairman of the CCP. And we have found out a very, very important, crucial truth, him or China. You may know the China's ambition, or Xi Jinping's ambition. What they want to do in the coming years. Firstly, take the entire Asia countries by 2030, not so long from it now. And then, wanting to become a hegemonic country, a hegemonic empire of the world that surpasses the United States by 2050. Which means they take all Asia, all Africa, and Oceania, and Europe too, except North America. So that is their agenda. In that case, China is greater than United States, so they can control almost everything. That is their agenda. And through Master Ryukoka's spiritual reading in many ways, we've found very, very important spiritual truths about China. Firstly, the Xi Jinping, his past life, is Genghis Khan, which conquered all Asia and also invaded into the Middle East and Europe. So this is the background of his ambition. He tried to do bigger thing. But it seems like his situation is become difficult nowadays, but still his ambition is shared by other people too. Because we have another reasons. They have another reason. He and their Chinese people, especially Chinese government, CCP, are given a spiritual guidance from Pi Xinheng, who is the first emperor of Xin, first emperor of China, who built the Great Wall, you know. He is not a hero. He is a kind of very difficult, very dangerous person. And now he is in the hell, and the most greatest power in the hell. So this very difficult, dangerous power is again behind China's ambition. Also, we must point out evil aliens, and also the one called Ariman, who is the dark power of the universe, is behind them, which are intended to take over the earth. They are controlling Xi Jinping and China to take over the earth. So it's very, very difficult and dangerous situation we are in. So against this situation, Master Oka started his agenda, his strategy is threefold. Firstly, she published early warning to the world by spreading the spiritual reading on Xi Jinping or other Chinese people. So this is very, he started publishing in 2012. Even Xi Jinping became a president, he sent out an early warning on him. So he's a very dangerous person. So we are surprised. Many people thought he's not the kind of a person. He must be a moderate person, but it was quite different. So that was a surprise. So as Master spread this truth, all the world leaders knew about that from happy science information, especially Japan, United States, and European countries and Asian countries. Leaders knew about Master's message, Master's book. Then he created a worldwide network of light with Master's Oka lecture tours and temples. He made a world tour starting from 2008, Asian countries, Oceania, Europe, United States, Africa, and created a worldwide network of light and built many temples, include Australia Shoshinkan. That is to spread the light, spread the God truth all over the world. And then started to create actual power on this world, uniting the nations of faith in God, like United States, this country, Australia, India, and other countries, which have an affinity to God, to fight against atheist countries, especially China and North Korea. That is his strategy. And there are 4 key countries Master thought very important to contain China: United States, Japan, India, and Russia. You may wonder why Russia, but it is very important. Then comes Australia, Canada, England, Germany, and Taiwan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, and Indonesia. Master Ryuho Okawa visited and gave lectures in most of the countries except Russia, Vietnam, Indonesia, and he made a tour and he built temples in these countries to spread the God truth or God heavenly light to defend the earth That is a very important strategy. You may be having a kind of a question about Russia. We also thought that Russia, we could rely on that. So Master Okawa made a research on Putin many times, maybe starting from 2012. How he is thinking, how is his true thought? He researched by accessing to his guardian spirit, which is his own mind, past lives. And we could know that Putin's basic thinking of this. Firstly, he has a deep faith in God, the Kantara. He is a very religious person. That which we find out. Then, he had a strong concern, caution on China's military expansionism. He doesn't like China much. Actually, he is afraid of China is going into the big country and threatening to take the Siberian part of Russia. That was his fear. And actually, that is a concern. And then, he had a deep love and affinity to Japan because he practiced judo many years, and also his relating to his past lives, which I mention later. And also, he has no intention of fighting against Europe and America. He wanted to make Russia become a great country, but he didn't want. He never has an ambition to invading and taking other countries like a Hitler. He is not Hitler. He's a moderate person. And also, we found out his spiritual background, which is a past life, which is also very amazing. One was Augustus, the Caesar, the first emperor of Rome, who is a nephew of Julius Caesar. And he is the first emperor to make Rome into the empire. So he consolidated the Roman Empire. So he's a very strong, religious, and great leader, which started Roman Empire. But that lasted more than 100 years. He has many past lives, of course, but another one was Emperor Shun. You may not know, he's the Emperor of Japan who lived in the 8th century, and he built the great statue of Buddha in Nara, great statue, which is more than 50 meters or like that, 50 meters high, and which it became the symbol of Japan as a Buddhist country. So he was very religious, but using the Buddhism as a pillar, he created a great country as old ancient Japan as a great country. So he was a great leader. He is a great leader with spiritual perspective or religious view. That is very good. That is the reason we can rely on him. Now, I'd like to share Master's lecture.
This Corona war already has an element of World War III. However, President Biden has played a poor move, and now it is in a state of war with Russia. Although it originally started from China, so China should be the opponent. 1.1 million Americans have died. If 1.1 million people were killed, it's a war. I think the opponents of the war is a bit different. Mr. Biden, because he got a lot of bribes from China, he made Russia his imaginary enemy and is waging war via Ukraine. Biden has created a hostile structure of NATO versus Russia while putting China aside, and the battle has begun like a complicated fractured bones situation. I don't know if Biden is not a smart person or if he is really dumb, but since he is the President of the United States, he may be too smart to be seen as an idiot. This is what I sometimes wonder. 1.1 million Americans died from the Chinese corona weapons, yet Biden attacks Russia. I still wonder what kind of brain he has. He apparently wants to fight.
本当に悪い人なんかちょっと私よくわからないんですけども、アメリカの大統領
A newspaper this morning says that he will give 400 billion yen and send 50 tanks to assist Ukraine.
他の人にわからないぐらい、
Many people treat Mr. Zelensky as a hero, but I just can't see it that way.
私にはどうしてもそういうふうには見えないんですよね。
I can't help but feel that he is thinking of something very bad.
すごく悪いことを考えてるような感じがしてしまう。
He seems to want to start a world war.
見えるんですよ。だから
It may be natural that as the president, he wants to help Ukraine.
してないけど
However, what he has been doing, like having the world spend money and send military supplies,
と集め
artillery, missiles, tanks, etc., to help Ukraine, makes me feel that he is trying to start a world war. The proxy war with Russia pushes Russia to connect with China, North Korea, Iran, etc. An axis of confrontation is forming, which means the Cold War structure is once again forming.
だったやつがもう一回出来上がって既存の世界大戦の構造が
The worst pattern is now being realized.
これ最悪ですね。
I feel so sad thinking, oh no, that's how things will end up with Mr. Biden's brain.
こうなるん最悪ね。
They were originally the same country, so it was not a fight between foreign countries as what we think of.
外国同士の戦いではないもんなんで
It is like kinship hatred.
ものです。
There are many people of Russian descent, and former President Gorbachev's wife was Ukrainian.
大統領の奥さんなんかもウクライナ
Russia and Ukraine are not in a foreigner-to-foreigner relationship.
ない関係なんで
I can understand Zelensky's personal desire to join the EU, but the expansion of NATO means the encirclement of Russia.
まあ NATO が拡大していくっていうことはロシア包囲網なんで、
The US would use NATO as a strategy to destroy Russia, so it was obvious that Russia should resist.
見えてたことなのにまあ
But his personal feelings took precedence. I think that he did not see the big picture.
見えなかったんじゃないかなというふうに思います。
There would have been no war if Ukraine had declared its neutrality.
In this background, as I explained, there comes the Biden. He made a grave mistake or mistakes. One of those mistakes was that he didn't accuse China on the coronavirus, which actually China started to spread to the world. China must be blamed or punished, but he didn't do that. Okay, actually, they are trying to help China. And then second mistake is about Ukrainian war. They actually supported Ukraine and blamed Russia, which is mistake because it was a kind of Russians defensive war started by Ukraine. Ukraine started to bully the Russian people, who are living in the eastern side of Ukraine. That's why the Putin started to help them. So that is the cause of the war. But United States and other European countries single-handedly blamed Russia and so Russia was no other way to come close to China's side. That is a great mistake. And then created a dangerous nuclear arm axis of countries, China, North Korea, Russia, and Iran. So these countries, including Iran, might be coming to the nuclear armed country soon. So if these countries become friendly relationships, it's very, very dangerous in the world. That is the situation we have now. Then another example of mass translation.
In this sense, Mr. Biden has been talking a lot about the conflict between democratic nations and autocratic nations, but I think this is not enough. It is impossible to determine right and wrong based only on the differences in political systems, because those systems are managed by humans, so you should have something much higher. If you don't have faith in God and Buddha, human rights will be shallow and flimsy. So it's just a matter of human rights protected within the limits of the law. If the law is decided by a dictatorial political party, it will not be protected at all. I think democratic nations versus autocratic nations of Biden's view is not enough. If that conflict is between a nation with faith in God or Buddha versus a nation with atheism and materialism, then there is a possibility that you can win. Very few nations are completely atheistic and materialistic now. Very few. To put it bluntly, only China and North Korea are such countries. The other countries have faith to some extent. I think it is necessary to push them a little more in that direction. In particular, you can see Mr. Biden's unsuccessful move of turning Russia and China against each other. And he's now pushing them into a corner. But this seems to be going in a direction that cannot be resolved in the end. He doesn't like the fact that Mr. Putin has been in office for 20 years, but Mr. Putin has a mind of faith. He believes in God. In the former Soviet Union, they were atheistic and materialistic. The Russian Orthodox Church did underground activities. But Mr. Putin recognizes the church and goes to church as a Russian Orthodox Christian with faith. So there is a clear difference here. It's no good if we see them as the same. We should separate them. So I've been saying that it would be better to bring Russia into the West as much as possible. But sadly, that's not going to reach Mr. Biden.
So Mr. Biden divided the world into two sides. One is democratic countries and one is autocratic country. And he thought that Russia is an autocratic country that is not good. But Master said it should be divided between the nations with faith in God and versus atheist countries. That is an important thing. So in this respect, here comes Mr. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Actually, Master Walker made many spiritual research on him, published these kind of books, his spiritual message from his guardian spirit, his past lives. And it is very, very amazing. We thought, many people thought, Trump is kind of a crazy person, but actually he's not. He's a very, very great politician that Master found out, and we know now. And what is the real thought of Donald Trump? He thought he must stand up against China's evil ambition and defeat them by all means. He has a strong will to defeat China's evil ambition. That is very, very good. And also he fixed America's social and democratic problem with God, justice, and the spirit of freedom. He has a strong belief in God, justice, and the spirit of freedom. So it is very, very important to create a strong America. And then he wanted to make America as a world leader and also world politician again. And then prevent wars around the world and create an era of global peace and prosperity. Actually, he doesn't like war very much. And when he was a president, he didn't start any war. While he was the president, the world was very kind of a calm situation. After he was kind of kicked out of the office, war started in many places. That is a reality. And then another astonishing fact about Donald Trump was his past lives. One is George Washington, which is a founding father, actually the first president of the United States of America. One of the greatest leader of the history of the United States is now coming back soon. And then also, we know have few other past life. One of them is clearly said he was Ikhenaton, the emperor, king of the Egypt in ancient Egypt, which we can see in the history book. Maybe you may know the word, the name of the Ikhenaton. Okay, he's very, very famous king of the Egypt. So he's also have a very great leader. He saw as a great leader of the past lives, in the past lives. Also, he has a very strong faith in God. That is his real thought. And his political agenda of the after re-elected as a President Trump, he will have several of them. You may know already from his speech, or sometimes we can see it from his spiritual reading books. Firstly, end the Ukrainian war by stopping the military aid to Ukraine. He said he'll stop the Ukrainian war even before he take office. He said like that. That is very simple. Stop aiding Ukraine. That is a way. And the Zelensky must run away from his country. Zelensky must run away. He must seek exile to other countries. And then mend the relation with Putin by lifting the sanctions. United States had many sanctions on Russia, but he started to lift some of them, the main relation with Russia, Putin. That is his next step. And then weaken China by the tariffs, imports from China. And that is the way he stopped, preventing China from into the war. If China's economy weakened more, they cannot afford war. That's why he's doing this. That's the real reason of his economic sanction against China. And then prevent the war between Israel and Iran by cooperating with Russia. Here comes Russia again. Because United States support Israel and Iran was supported by Russia. So if Donald Trump and Putin become together, cooperate, they can stop the war between Israel and Iran. That is another important aspect. Then, denuclearize North Korea by helping Kim Jong-un to walk the way toward the Vietnam-like prosperous country. He met Kim Jong-un 2 times while he was in office last time. But after he's away, they started to do many bad things. But actually, Kim Jong-un is waiting for Donald Trump to come to the office and talk again. That is his real thinking. So, if this agenda was kind of studied to become fruit, world become peaceful world. But this world become a very peaceful world in the near future. We hope, we pray for that. Okay, that is his real thing. That's why we support Russia. That's why Lord Alcantara is guiding Trump. Trump has a very, very strong faith in God, and he is guided by Thoth. Thoth is a name of the one of the divided kind of spirit of the Lord Alcantara. So he has direct relation to Alcantara, and he knows, Trump knows God's will, and he was helped by God, Lord Alcantara. That's when we can see when he was almost assassinated, but he was helped. He said he was heard some word from someone. It might be God's words. So we are hoping that he will become president, the next president, be successful and create a better world. That is the conclusion of the first part. Okay. Then we enter the second part, the peaceful mind, the second part, which half of it we listened last time. In the first part of the lecture, we learned about the true happiness can be found in time of silence. In time of silence, you can find that heart is in resonance to the heavenly world. Heavenly world. That is a true happiness, which is called nirvana. And another thing is about worries. Worry makes your mind torn apart into 2 or 3 or more pieces, and you cannot see things as beautiful. So when you have a worry, you are unhappy. So you must get out of this situation as soon as possible. That was the conclusion of the first part. Then we are going to watch the second half of master lecture. That means 28 minutes.
I often say that if you want to benefit yourself, you must do so in the truest sense. Many of those who are called egotists do many things that harm them in trying to benefit themselves. People can never be happy by making other people unhappy. Egotists can't understand this basic truth. They hurt, criticize, or corrupt others, block others' way, or trouble others, because they themselves want to be happy. They can never be happy by doing so. These actions are not just morally wrong, but you prevent yourself from becoming happy. That's why you must put a stop to negative thoughts and actions. It's important to love yourself in the truest sense, but many people are unable to do so. What does it mean to truly love yourself? It means your mind is satisfied from living each day to the fullest, from giving it your all and living the life you've been given. This is essential, and everyone must live this way. This is a basic law that everyone must follow. So if you want to be happy, you must maintain a calm state of mind. That is like the calm surface of a lake, a smooth, shiny, mirror-like surface. In order to be happy, your mind must always be calm and shining. A mirror can reflect the world correctly only when its surface is smooth. But what if there is a crack? We won't find the reflected image beautiful. The same is true when the mirror is dirty. Only when the mirror is polished and shiny does it reflect beautiful images. We have a mirror in our minds. Polishing this mirror every day is the practice of self-reflection. In addition to that, it's important to find ways not to cause ripples on the surface of your inner lake. Never let your mind get disturbed. Maintain a clear surface so it can always reflect the moon. Keep the surface of the lake calm so it can reflect the world and others correctly.
ましてや
Above all,
自分自
you
身の
must keep it calm so it can reflect yourself correctly.
そうした平らかな湖面を持たなくてはなりません。そのため
One
の
of the ways to do this is to set aside time for silence.
にはまず沈黙の時間を取ることが大事であります。一
It's
日の中
important
で
to set aside some quiet time during the day.
取ることです。言葉
Look
を
within your mind in silence without saying a
静
word.
かな時間の中で自分自身を見つめる時を持つことです。これは一つの習
Make it a
慣
habit to do so,
しかしこの習
and
慣の
in
中
this
に
habit, happiness will grow.
芽生えてきます。こういう単純な
Given how
話をすれ
simple
ば
it is,
皆
you
さん
may
は話題にな
laugh.
るかもしれませんが、私自
But
身
in
も
my book, Introduction to Happy Science, New
強かっ
Version,
た時というものを考えてみますと、以前
I wrote about the many occasions on which I had an intense feeling of happiness.
あるんですが、夕暮れ
I
時
felt a
に
strong sense of happiness
散歩をしながら季節
while I
の
was taking a walk and seeing the season changing at dusk.
とてつもなく自
I
分
had
が
such a feeling many times.
感じたことが何度も何度もありました。秋
I
の
had the same feeling during autumn sunsets and also in January
4月雪が積もっている中で寒梅
when I
が
was struck by the beauty of the marvelous red plum blossoms in the snow.
雪の中で咲かしているのを見たときに得た感激もありました。そうした
Indescribable feeling of happiness.
この
This happiness is invaluable.
ものです。これは
This feeling is sometimes called minor ecstasy or peak experience.
英語で言うこともあります。こうした
It is very similar to what you feel when you have attained
過
enlightenment.
去禅などで言われた悟りの感覚にも極めて
As described in Zen Buddhism.
そして
Surprisingly, for some reason,
こうした恍惚感
those who have had this happiness called peak
な
experience
ぜかそれから
often turn out to be determined to live for other people after that.
と思うことが多いという事実があるんです。これは
This is historically true.
そうであるのです。なぜ
For
かそう
some
した
reason,
至福
those who
の
have
欲を
had
持った
such moments of bliss
多くの人々のために
strongly desire to live for many
強
people.
くなるのです。おそら
In
くは
such
そ
moments,
の瞬
these
間
people
に
probably become one with the great universe
幸福感覚が自分が
and become filled with a happy feeling that they are loved by the great being.
満ちたためにその幸せな
So they
感
come
覚
to
を
have the desire to share this happiness with others.
と思うようになるのだと私は
This is my understanding.
しています。真に
I
幸
believe
福
that
になっ
those
た
who
こ
have
とがあ
known
る
true
人は
happiness
その感覚を少しで
will
も
come to feel like sharing that feeling with as many people as
そういうふう
possible.
になるものだと感じるのです。故に
So I'm not going
私は
to
皆
ask
さん
you
方に
anything special.
特殊なことをお願いしようとは思いません。この
Just
心
keep your mind as calm as the mirror-like surface of a lake.
鏡のような姿にしてほしい。そしてそれを
I
保
want
つ
you
こ
to
と
know
が
that maintaining such a state brings you happiness.
人間は
No one has the right to make others unhappy.
権利はありません。それは
Put it the other way
自分自身
around.
の立場に立ってみるとするならば、他の人
We
の
don't
行為
need to
に
be
よって
unhappy by dint of other people's actions
そう
either.
でもないということなのです。自分自ら
It's our own choice to be happy or
自ら自身
unhappy.
が決めていけばよいことです。その
Our
心の
determined
輝きを
attitude to keep the shiny
あくまでも
surface
守り
within
続けるという姿勢が自
will
然自然
gradually and naturally change our attitude toward others.
変えていくようになるでしょう。小さな
If
こ
we
と
get
で
upset over trifles, we can't maintain the crystal clear surface.
到底その心の中の澄み切った面を維持することはできません。怒る
The
中で
teaching, don't get angry, isn't just a moral teaching.
決して道徳的にだけ言っているのではないのです。怒ることに
Anger causes ripples on the surface of the lake
そして
and makes you feel
不愉快になる
upset.
のは自分自身であるのです。自分
You're
自身を
obstructing your own happiness.
阻害しているのです。怒りが発
Probably get angry when you feel you've been
自分自身
treated
が不幸に
badly.
扱われたと思ってその不幸感覚ゆえ
You
に
feel miserable and think that you
もっと
deserve to be
幸福な
much
自分でな
happier.
ければならないと思って怒りを発するのでしょうが、その結
But
果
by getting angry, you are losing what is most important to you.
ですから、
So when you feel anger welling up, please stay in control.
踏みとどまっていただきたい。心の中
Check your inner lake once again.
見ていただきたいんです。自分は
Please know that you're about to lose the most precious thing to you.
ということを知っていただきたいんです。怒りを
Know
発し
that
た
the
瞬
moment
間
you fly into a rage, you're standing on the edge of a
自
cliff.
分の足がかかっていることを知らねばなりません。そ
The
れを
moment you burst into anger, alas, you're falling from the cliff.
悲しいかな。今までここまで登ってきた山から崖から
You are falling into the abysmal valley from the mountain you've climbed so far.
先人の谷に落ちてしまうことになってしまうのです。故に
So if you aspire to develop yourself and be happy, you must never get angry.
決して怒ってはなりません。また
Still, you may have doubt and say,
皆さん方は疑問があるでしょう。世の
the
中は
world is full of unfair matters and injustice is rampant
間
everywhere.
違ったことが横行し続けている。また
Or sometimes misunderstood by others.
このま
I
ま
don't want to be continuously misunderstood by others.
到底で納得がいかないと思われることもあるでしょう。確かにそれ
You
も
have a point in saying so.
私は思います。けれども
In the world, however, there are direct and indirect
間
responsibilities.
接的な責任というのがあります。
You may sometimes be criticized for what you're directly responsible for.
そして他の人から批判を受けるということはあるでしょう。これは
You must take the blame squarely, and you can't run away from it.
逃げることはできません。その自分が原因で起
You
きた
must accept the blame for the problem you have caused.
ことはなりません。しかしこれ以外に
But other than this, there are many cases in which you're indirectly responsible.
多くあるのです。それは
Some problems arise as a result of your carelessness, lack of
意
effort,
味においては自らの
or in a broader sense, the weak influence of your character or lack of virtue.
力の弱さであったりすることがあるのです。日頃
If you couldn't look after many people or spare time to make them happy,
面倒を見ることができなかった。彼らの幸福のために時間を費やせなかった。その
you sometimes have to pay for that.
ツケが回ってきていることだってあるのです。そういうふう
So
に
when you are feeling pain for being
自
misunderstood
分
by
が答えを受け
others,
て苦しい時に激しい
think
言葉を
about your direct and indirect responsibilities before uttering harsh words.
考えていただいて、その間接的な責
And
任
if you
の
find
中
something
に
you need to reflect upon, you must hold
反
back.
省するべきことがあると思ったら踏みとどまるべきです。ですから、
If a stone was thrown into your lake, strive to prevent the ripples from arising.
波立たせないように努力をすることです。それを小さく受け止
Try
め
to make the impact as small as possible
受け止めていくことです。そして冷静に
and
なる。
stay calm.
激しい
To
怒りの
intense
言葉に
angry
対して
words, respond with gentle words.
答えてください。憎しみの
To
言葉に
words of
対しては
hatred, you sometimes need to remain silent.
が必要となることもあるでしょう。そして
Even if you think such a person is unforgivable as a human being,
と思うような人であっても考えてみ
please
れ
think
ば
twice.
その人にも父や母はいた
That person also has parents and maybe loving
愛
children.
しい子供がいるかもしれないんだ。その人だって
He probably has friends, and some of them see him as a pleasant or wonderful
彼を
person.
良しと見る人、素晴らしいと見る人だっているはずなんだ。その
Maybe you're about to commit a serious mistake by writing off his whole character.
否定しようとしている今、大変な間違いを犯そうとしているのかもしれない。我
I'm not
必ずしも
necessarily right, and he's not necessarily wrong or evil.
悪ならずということを心の
Please always tell yourself this.
それが
This is what it means to be tolerant.
思うのです。寛容の
Tolerance is not merely a moral
道
virtue.
徳的なるものだけではありません。
It's not considered a virtue just because it makes others happy. The
寛容の
virtue of
道徳は
tolerance is that it keeps the surface of our inner lake
波を
undisturbed.
立たせないという美徳があるのです。これは
This is a happy state, and we can maintain this state of happiness by being tolerant.
寛容さを発揮することによって
Just as you are not perfect, neither are others.
他の人もそうでしょう。その人
There's a
も
proverb that says, No one is bad company if you see their good points. The moment you get angry at someone, can you recall their good points?
その人の優れたと
Can
ころ
you
を
think of their strengths?
できるでしょうか。できないでしょ
I
う。
don't think you can.
私たちはこの
Once we've learned about the peaceful
なん
mind,
だならば、かりそめに
we
も
must never lose our temper to write off someone's
他の人
entire
の全人
character.
格を否定するようなことだけは 慎まねばならない。私
I
は
believe so.
誤解は
Misunderstandings will be cleared up one
解
day.
けていくものです。また、
A Buddhist saying goes, hatred cannot stop hatred.
言うではありませんか。ですから、
So you must not hate others even when they hate
恨みを
you.
受けたと思っても、それを恨んでもならない。それを
What
溶か
stops
す
hatred is love.
愛である。その恨み
Mercy, which is like the sun that constantly gives out heat and light, melts away hatred. This is what I believe. So in talking about a peaceful mind, I want to share one crucial point
極
here.
めて大事なことを一つ申し上げておきたいのです。それは忍耐という
Perseverance.
忍耐という
Perseverance means enduring the passing of time.
耐えるということなのです。大抵の
Most suffering
苦し
and
みや
mistakes
ま
arise
た間違いは短い時間の
when you
間
try
で
to reach the final conclusion in a short period of time.
始まっています。しかし私たちは
However, we live for a long
生
time.
きています。今敵だと見
Someone
え
who
た
appears to be your enemy now may become your friend in a year's time.
その可能性にやはりかけなければいけない。
You
その
must
可能
allow
性
for
にか
that
ければこそ
possibility, and that's why you must endure in the
耐えるこ
present.
とは必要なのです。人は
People change, they definitely do.
そういうものなのです。世の中を
If you have a tendency to divide the world or label people as good or bad,
どうかそれをこの際に
please fix this habit now.
確かに悪なるものも
Someone
見
may
えるのに
certainly appear to you as a bad person.
もしここで自分がその人に
If you label them bad, you may be able to reach your own
それで結論は
conclusion.
出るかもしれない。自分の気持ちは済むかもし
You
れな
may
い。
feel satisfied.
でもその人と
However, you'll never have a chance to be friends with them in the future.
亡くなっていくでしょう。それは大きな
You could be throwing away a precious treasure by doing so.
ないでしょうか。一生の間で
There's a limit to the number of people you can meet in life.
限りがあります。どれほど
No matter how many friends you may have, the number is limited.
数少ないです。政治家
Even
の
if a politician goes on campaign tours around the country,
心を割って話
I
し
doubt
て
they'd have many friends they can have a heart-to-heart talk with.
私はそう思います。むしろ感情
Rather,
的な
the people you don't get along with and whose personalities clash with yours
お互いの人格と人格がぶつかり合うような人というのは
are often the ones you have a spiritual tie
つ
with.
ながっていることがあります。自分自身の
Oftentimes, you're destined to meet such people for
ど
your
うしても
soul training.
必要な人が出てきていることであることが多いのです。そう
If
で
so, based on the view that there are
この
no
世に偶然なる
coincidences
もの
in
は
this
ないという
world,
観点から立つとするならば、
you must value such spiritual ties.
今相手
It's
が
important to tell
自分は
yourself,
何か教えようとしているのかもしれない。自分の
maybe
足り
he's
ないとこ
saying
ろを
that
何
to
か
teach me something
教えようとしている
important.
のかもしれない。そう思うこ
Or
と
maybe she's telling me what I need to work on.
私はそう思います。ですから
Since we're not
私たちは
saints,
聖人君子ではありませんから、そうした
it may be difficult to quickly forgive someone who gives us trouble.
その人をすぐ許すということは難しいでしょう。けれども
So I'll give you a tip.
ヒントを与えておきたいのです。その人に時間をあ
We
げる
can
という
give
こと
them
は
time,
できるの
can't
では
we?
ないでしょうか。時間をあげる。
All things in the universe are in the process of
宇宙は
evolution.
全て進化の過程にあります。
Despite living in the same era, each soul makes progress at a different
進
pace.
歩の速度は違います。自分が今こうしたことを知ってい
Even
る
if you know
相
something
手が
now,
今その段階において
there's no reason that others should know it too.
ないのです。その姿は
These people may represent you from 10 years ago,
あるいは3年後
or
の自
you
分の
3 years
姿
from
である
now.
かもしれないのです。それぞれの人はそれぞ
Each
れの人
person
の
lives in
固有の
his or
時間
her own unique time.
必ずその時
You
間
can
を与え
think,
られた時
this
に
person may change for the better if they're given enough time.
良くなっていくかもしれない。いや、今遭遇しているところ
No, actually,
私
he could change by meeting me
会う
now.
ことによってこの人は変わることがあるかもしれない。そう感
When
じ
you
た
feel that way, you'll surely want to believe such a change will occur.
ないならば嘘だと思います。そうした可能性
If
がある
there's such potential, you must be patient.
夢夢短期を起こしてはなるまい。私たちは
Let's be free of short temper
短期を起こして
and never get angry for 5 or 10 years as a matter of course.
いやそうではな
Or
く
rather, let's go as far as to be the kind of person who seldom recalls.
そういう環境もあったのだろう
Oh, humans have the emotion of getting angry or blaming
とい
others.
うものではありませんか。 イライラによっ
What's the
て
point of getting irritated and criticizing others?
それで一体何になりましょうか。相手も自分
It'll
も
only make both yourself and others unhappy.
なるだけであります。今語ってい
What
る
I'm talking about can be boiled down to a single
一点に繋が
point.
っていることなんです。それは
It's quite a natural, simple matter.
皆さん
I
方が
want you to love yourself in the
本当の
truest sense.
正しい意味での自分を愛するというそうした愛する気持ち、自己愛、正
I
しい意
want
味で
you
の
to
自己愛
explore true self-love and true
自分の
happiness.
幸福というものを探求していただきたい。それは
You can achieve it by protecting the calm surface of the inner lake.
守ることだ。決してこれを
Never allow it to be
何度かせない
disturbed.
どんなことがあったとしても守り続ける
Come what may, protect it. It's as simple as that.
この単純な行為
Such a
が
simple act
自分
will
の
protect the
幸福を守る
happiness of you and
他の人
others.
々の幸福をも守ることになるのだ。さすれば
So you don't need any difficult
難しい
teachings.
教えは何もいらないことになります。何も
You
いらない
don't need any difficult
難しい教えは
teachings.
何もいらないです。この
Just observe this single point.
常に
Always keep your mind undisturbed.
状態、これを維持しよう。そして
What's more, other people equally have their inner lake.
他の人の心の中にもそうした湖面があるはずだから。自分が
So
接
if
する人
possible,
の
don't
その
disturb the
湖面を
surface of the inner lake of the person you face
石を投げ込
by
む
throwing a stone into it.
波立たせるようなことはするまい。
Be determined not to do so.
思うことです。自分が願う
Please wish the same peaceful mind onto others.
そうした状態を
Help them have a peaceful
です
mind.
から今度は逆に
When you
自
hurt
分が
others with
相手の
words,
言葉に
you'll immediately
傷つけ
see
た
the
ところ
reaction
その反応がすぐ出るでしょう。顔に。
on their faces or in their eyes.
そして
If you think you've caused ripples on the surface of their lake,
涙立てたと思ったらその時に素直に
apologize sincerely.
もし
Your comments to them could have a point or be beneficial to them.
相手のためになることであったとしてもその
But
言
if
葉
your
に
remarks badly upset
相手
their
の心が乱
minds,
されたのであるならばその言葉を
please apologize for the words you spoke.
詫びていただきたいんです。激しい言葉
Apologize for hurting them with harsh words and say something to heal their
言
wounds.
葉を補っていただきたいんです。自分の真意はこう
Make
いう
sure
こと
to
だ
explain to them what you truly meant.
ほしいんです。時間を空けることな
Lose
く
no time to make an amendment to calm their minds.
静まるように。したがって
On the other hand, we may sometimes meet people
心がいっぱいで悩み事が
whose minds are filled
あるい
with
は
negative
愚痴と
thoughts,
か
worries, and
不平不満で
complaints.
いっぱいの人と会ったとしてもそうした
To
人た
such
ちに
people, too, we want to bring inner peace and make them
そういう
happy.
幸福を与えてあげたいものです。故に
To do so, please identify the reason why their minds are so
見
disturbed.
抜いていただきたいんです。さすれば
There must be some cause for that. They're probably worried about
心配
something.
事があるはずです不安なことがあるはずなんです。その不安
So
の
it's
目を
important to nip their worries in the bud.
大事です。もし
Even if you
自分
don't
のそれ
have
だ
the
けの力が
ability to do
ない
so,
としても言葉には
your words and thoughts definitely have power.
自分の
You may
健
meet
康
people
の
who are always
不安を抱え
complaining
る
about their
人
poor
が
health.
いるでしょう。そんな人と会ったら気をつけないと自
If you're
分の
not careful, your mind could be disturbed.
ただその湖面を
But you shouldn't
自
just
分
try
の
to
心の
protect your inner
その湖面
peace.
を守ることのみならず相手の人が
If you understand them and think it must be hard to have health problems,
不安で悩んでいるんだなと思った時になぜ言う
why not encourage them?
なぜその人が
Why not say something that will make them happy?
吐こうとしませんか自分が
Every day you come across people through some kind of connection.
出会った人をどうしてその
So
人
why not try to calm their troubled minds?
沈めるようにできないのだろうかと考えてみないんでしょうかできるはずです
I'm sure you can calm their minds. You definitely can, through thoughts and words. People can change in a moment. It's that simple.
単純なことです先ほど
Today, we received a telegram from the governor of Aichi Prefecture,
祝電の電報をいただきました
and we had it read earlier.
わずか
It was a short 20 to 30 seconds message wishing us the best.
それを聞け
I
ば
felt happy to hear that. I think it's the same for you too.
皆さんも嬉しいと思いますわずかそれ
It
だけ
was a simple message, but what if the message was a negative one?
当地で
What if it said, "We didn't want you to lecture here"?
どうでしょうか私は悲しいですし皆さん
I'd be sad and you'd also feel
たったそれだ
uncomfortable.
けのことです一行
Such a
の
simple message can make a difference.
このように
The human mind can be disturbed by a simple cause.
さすれば
We not only have stones thrown into our
自分
minds,
が石を受けているだけでは
but
なく
may also
な
throw
れる存
stones
在でも
into
ある
others' minds.
とならば決して
Once we
話を聞いて
realize this,
幸福を害すること
we
がない
want to live in a way that will never disturb the happiness of others.
そう思い続けるということは人間としての正義なる
Continuing
義
to
務である
wish for this is a sacred duty for human beings. I
ごく
believe so.
単純な話をしています
This is a
が
very simple matter.
この平安を
But maintaining a peaceful mind is a very, very important challenge for people today.
大事な課題であるのです。たったこ
It's a
れだけ
simple
の
thing,
こと
but
が
millions
で
or
きない
tens of
人が
millions of people
何
are
百
unable
万
to
人
do this.
何千万人いますか。悩みの価値に
Ask a person full of worries, is your mind peaceful?
問うてみてください。穏やか
The
に
answer will be no.
その原因はと
If you ask why not, the person might give you some feasible
確かに
reasons.
原因があることは分かりました。しかし、
But if you ask, do you really need to solve all these problems to calm your mind?
と問い続けるならば、いや、そ
The
うでも
person will realize that's not necessarily the
その原
case.
因は時間をかけて取り除くこと
Some problems can be solved over time, while others cannot.
少なくとも今
But they
何
can
だ
at
っていう
least
ことを
calm their disturbed mind right now.
できるはずです。今日は
Today, I've
単
talked
純な
about a simple
話から
truth.
やってまいりました。難しくすれ
There
ば
are many difficult methods, such as the Eightfold Path.
方法がございます。これを理論
It
的
can be
に語れ
explained
ば
by difficult theories, like the Eightfold Path or the Six Paramitas.
みたいな話もある。いろんな話し方がございますが、一番
But I
簡単
talked
な
about the simplest way.
反省の基準は
Make sure your mind is
自らの
always
心が
undisturbed.
波立っていないかどうか
This is the checkpoint of self-reflection.
これは自分でわかります。穏やかな
You can see this for yourself.
一日中
Have a peaceful mind all day long.
乱れた時が
If your mind is disturbed during the day, make an effort to calm it.
そして一日穏やかな日が
If you manage to keep a peaceful mind all day long, like a warm autumn day,
であったのです。そして
it means you are happy today.
そういう状態を上げたいと
And wishing to help others experience the same state
また自分の幸福
will
を
lead you to further develop yourself and expand your happiness.
今日は極めて
Today I've spoken as simply as possible.
したつもりです。この一
Please
点
bring this single truth home with you. Keep your mind in peace.
持って帰ってください。そして
In time, you will gradually understand that this is not easy to
大
do.
変なことなんだなということが分かってくるようになります。この心
Just by making this simple but continuous effort of keeping your mind in
い
peace,
つの間にか偉大な人
you'll
格
find that you have developed a great character without even realizing it.
そして私が言っていることの意
And
味
you'll know that this single truth summarizes what I've been teaching
言
you
い続けていることの意味がその一点の中に必ずや
through more than 80
見出
books.
されるでしょう。何を言い続け
Through
て
this
きたのかという
practice, I'm sure you'll come to understand what I've been saying to you.
分かるようになってくる。私はそう確信します。ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
Lord, entrare más cariñosa, great teaching. Okay. Let me give you some comment about today's lecture. The peaceful mind is actually very, very important, precious thing. Actually, the most precious thing that almost equal as happiness. Happiness comes from peaceful mind. That mind we must protect, seek every day, like a peaceful lake in the mountain area. This is Nikko in Japan. If you want to be happy, you must maintain calm state of mind. That is like the calm surface of a lake, a smooth, shiny, mirror-like surface. So we should imagine our mind as a peaceful lake every day. Every day. What is the situation of your surface of the lake? That is a question we should have ask ourselves every day. And the master taught us that very important, take a time for silence. Set aside some quiet time every day, maybe in the evening, and look within your mind in silence. And make it a habit to do so, and your happiness will increase. So every day, having this habit to calm our mind in silence, this is the basis of our happiness. But happiness resonate to the heavenly world, filled with heavenly light. That is our true happiness. And we are given precious weapon. As a member of Happy Science, we are allowed to have the true words spoken by Buddha. It's a sutra which we can recite in just 5 minutes, which we did in the beginning of today's Sunday service too. And you may have recited together. This sutra is given to us to calm our mind. By reciting this sutra peacefully, and your mind become smooth or peaceful, more peaceful, then you can have a peaceful mind after reciting it. So when you are enter into kind of meditation, you must recite this sutra in silence or in reading out. It's okay. So it's a very, very important weapon to us to have peaceful mind every day. And one of the topic of today's lecture is about control your anger. They sometimes called anger management. Anger management. When you feel anger welling up, please stay in control. Check your inner lake once again. Inner lake. And he told that know that the moment you fly into rage, you are standing on the edge of the cliff. You are standing on the edge of the cliff. Actually, Master taught us in the Master's Happy Science movie called Laws of Eternity, which depict the spiritual world. When we are in the spiritual world, what happens when we started to get into rage? Let's watch the movie excerpt.
Ruta and Yuko went through to the Angel's Realm.
But we failed, right, Patrick?
What is so funny about that? You don't remember we were a team, do you? How come it's only Ruta and Yuko that get to go through and we can't? Don't get me wrong, it's not that I really want to go to the Angel's Realm, but it just annoys me that those two are so special and we're not.
That's true. Why is it only them two? We went through all that trouble, and now we can't even meet Edison.
Yeah, and without my sensors, there was no way they could have gotten that phone to work in the first place.
Hey, you're right. This is unfair.
Perhaps God isn't fair after all.
Yeah.
So, when they are beginning to get angry, the floor of the sixth-dimensional world is cracked open, and they fell into the air. But they could come back, but that could happen in the heavenly worlds also. So that happens in this world too. So it's very scary. Before getting into rage, please check yourself. And we have Master's advice here. If a stone was thrown into your lake of mind, strive to prevent the ripples from arising. Try to receive the impact as small as possible and stay calm. That is when you are given kind of harsh word from other person. How do we accept that? The Master taught about this in another lecture, like 3 ways to receive harsh word. 3 ways to receive harsh word. 1, receive them as if carving on the rock. Carving on the rock. If you receive the word as if carving on the rock, it doesn't die. They don't get away. They don't stay there. Them hundreds or thousands, even more than years. So they never get away. They never. Then, secondly, receiving them as if writing on the sand. Writing on the sand. If you receive the words as if writing on the sand, sand must be retaining the letters for some days, but it will be erased by the water or wind. So that is the second. And then comes the receive as if writing on the water. Writing on the water. So just writing on the, you may know what was given, but it get away instantly. You can forget it instantly. So how are your way of receiving the words, harsh words from others? Please check yourself. You may be writing or carving on the rock that doesn't disappear many years, or just in the sun that may disappear in a few days, or it's rough as if writing on the water. Okay, so please remind these kind of three ways of receiving the words, and please select the way, easy way, receiving on the writing on the water to be the best way to receive harsh word. I must also give us a tips to control your anger. First is indirect responsibility. Indirect responsibility. Okay, you may think you have a direct responsibility. That sometimes you have an indirect responsibility. Like if your child was doing very bad thing, you may scold the child, but you may have your own responsibility about your children. You have a kind of a good character or education to them to behave well. So it is a indirect responsibility. Secondly, the tolerance. Never deny other person's whole character. Know that neither yourself nor the other person is a perfect person. So please deny all the character of the other person. Then patience. Give him a hard time, wait and expect the possibility of growth and change. Okay, let's skip one thing and we enter the meditation. Let's practice meditation about the anger toward others. This is a meditation on compassion. You may have someone who you don't dislike, you dislike. And please think that he has or she has Buddha nature, and she has his own cause. So please think about the person fairly from the standpoint of God. This is a meditation of compassion. Okay. Now we start listening to Master's lecture with a voiceover, and we can practice meditation. It's not so long, 10 minutes. The content of meditation must be 5 minutes or so. Okay. Please sit relaxed and listen to the guidance.
Next comes the meditation on compassion. This is a spiritual training for someone who is short-tempered. If you get angry easily, you first need to control that feeling. Unless you cease your anger and regain a peaceful mind, you can never have rational thinking. When you feel, I dislike that person, or he is a bad guy, you need to try to calm your mind by saying to yourself, all people are born equal as children of Buddha. You control your anger, believing that he is also a person with Buddha nature. This meditation will neutralize your anger and calm your mind. I believe that everyone has met someone they don't like. So please imagine a particular person you dislike now, or others whom you used to hate or get upset with very much. Then try to convince yourself that he or she is also a child of Buddha, and people are all equal, being given Buddha nature. Reflect on your mind that is not compassionate enough. To embrace and cherish that person. Such a merciful heart can dissolve all the negative emotions you have been holding. For example, if your child does not listen to what you say, it is your duty as a parent to teach your child to behave. But you must first try to imagine how you were at the age of 3. Probably you also did a lot of nasty things, like messing around all the stuff in the living room, or throw things, or yelling at your mommy. Maybe you had a fight with other kids in your neighborhood and got your clothes dirty. Forgetting all this, you got mad at your child for not obeying you. This is the meditation to view others equally and have warm and compassionate feelings for everybody. When you feel anger, ask yourself what you would do if you were in the same situation as that person. Perhaps you might have behaved just as he or she did. Your mind is filled with anger about whatever incident that happened to you, but you can moderate your anger by putting yourself in the other person's shoes to understand that person's perspective. Now let's practice it. Okay, please begin deep breathing. Put your hands together in prayer. Close your eyes lightly. Imagine anyone whom you don't like, or someone whom you are upset with. If you don't have anyone, please choose someone in the past you got mad at. Then remember the particular feature of that person that you got mad at. Next, try to convince yourself that you have not been merciful enough to understand that this person is also someone who has Buddha nature. And reflect upon your narrow-heartedness.
はい、
Okay,
ください。
please finish your meditation.
노래 간다. Great memory. Okay, now we will wrap up today's Sunday service. As a conclusion, Master said, today I've spoken as simply as possible. Please bring this single truth home with you. Keep your mind in peace. Keep your mind in peace. In time, you will gradually understand that this is not easy to do. Just by making this simple but continuous effort of keeping your mind in peace, you will find that you have developed a great character without even realizing it. Just one thing, keep our mind peaceful. Keep our mind peaceful. Okay? So, very simple, and practicing it is very difficult. And this teaching is kind of relating to the self-reflection and enlightenment. So it is a way to enlightenment. Starting point is keep our mind peaceful. That is a conclusion. Okay, thank you for joining today's Sunday service. I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Christina, Dashan, thank you. Joining.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so much. Thank
Midori-san.
you.
Who is Sydney? I don't know. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.